Hello, I'm Ryan F9 and these are Super Tires for Supermoto. First up is the Continental Conti Attack SM, and dare I say it, this is the most Supermoto tire. As you can probably see, the Conti Attack is for riders who like to go fast. And the minimal tread pattern, the really angular tire profile, that's classic sport bike stuff. And you get the exact same deal from racing favorites like the Q3, Diablo Rosso, S21, Pilot Power. And yeah, I mean, Supermoto guys, they do use those tires as well, but what makes the Conti Attack special is its compound. See, Supermoto bikes are very light, and less weight means less friction, so a proper Supermoto tire should be softer and easier to warm up than a standard sport tire. That's exactly what we have here, and it's a special SM compound made with something that Continental calls black chili. It's basically just a type of carbon soot where each nanoparticle takes on a specific shape so that more of it makes contact with the ground at any given time. And because of that, this tire warms up faster and grips harder. Continental also used CCT, or continuous compound technology. See, most performance tires have 2 or 3 different rubber compounds. Harder ones in the center, softer ones on the edges, so that you get less rolling resistance and more mileage on the straightaways, but then softer and stickier cornering grip. The problem is that as you lean your bike over, the tire is going to abruptly change from the hard to the soft contact area. So you'll feel that sort of step, and it makes the tire a bit unpredictable. With CCT though, Continental only used one rubber compound that was cured progressively. So while it is harder in the center and softer on the sides, there's no single edge where that change takes place. Instead, the tire gets gradually softer and softer and softer as you push it to the limit. So the feedback, therefore, is going to be uniform. And that gives me more confidence when I do want to push this tire to the very edge. And that's a good thing too, because as we all know, Supermotos love to get slideways. To get vain for a moment, just check out the sidewall. The checkered flag motif does shit all for performance, but oh man, does this look cool. One last thing I'll say about this tire, which is kind of weird, is that it comes pre-broken in. Continental calls it traction surface, and it's basically just rough all over, like a really high grit sandpaper or something. I personally enjoy scrubbing in my tires, so this doesn't actually do anything for me, but it is unusual. Now, the Conti Attack has a very close competitor with the Heidenau K80. Both are made for going fast, both have a special Supermoto rubber compound, both of them come from Germany, and both of them will run you just shy of 200 bucks. To be perfectly honest, the Continental is a better tire. It's much faster, it has better cornering grip, more feedback, it looks cooler, but I still think there's a reason to buy the K80. See, this is more of a relaxed Supermoto tire. It has a slick center strip for maximum grip coming off the line here, but the tread grooves also extend all the way to the shoulder. So this guy evacuates water way better than the Continental did. Of course, having tread grooves all the way out here is also why the edge grip and the cornering grip on this tire is not so hot. But if you ride at a calmer pace, well, who cares? I mean, I'll be the first to admit that this tire is good enough for me. I hit rainstorms way more often than I hit 90-degree lean angles, so by my priorities, the K80 is a better fit. Plus, it'll last a smidge longer. I mean, I typically don't care that much about mileage when it comes to Supermoto. My old DRZ 400 went through tires so slowly that I wanted to change them out of boredom. But yeah, I mean, theoretically, this is a bit more economical. Now, what if I want a Supermoto tire that I can use off-road? Well, the Avon Distanzia was the go-to option. For an 80/20 tire, it had respectable off-road performance and impeccable on-road performance. Plus, it came in a tailor-made Supermoto compound which put it miles ahead of the competition. But all good things come to an end, so Avon recently replaced the Distanzia with a piece of garbage called the Trail Rider. Okay, so it's not that bad, but the Trail Rider is targeted at the new wave of 1000cc adventure bikes, and in my opinion, it's just not as good on a Supermoto. So then we're left to look at the Heidenau K73, which is a brilliant Supermoto tire, but alas, not that great for serious off-roading. And so we arrive here with the Shinko 705. And to be totally honest with you guys, this is not an exceptional tire either, but we're running out of options, and at the very least, this isn't expensive. Most rear sizes are priced south of 100 bucks. What else can I say? I mean, it's an 80/20 tire, it doesn't vibrate too bad on the pavement, turn in is actually a lot quicker than you'd expect, and the cornering grip is predictable and it's stable, if not that sticky. The off-road behavior is fine too. 705s will eat up gravel roads all day long, hard-packed trails are gonna be no problem, and in the sand, they're surprisingly okay. It's the wet stuff that's the Achilles heel. I mean, these tread grooves don't evacuate very well, so when the dirt gets wet or the mud gets tacky, be prepared for drama. Mileage is alright though. I get about 12,000 clicks with this guy on the rear of my V-Strom, and Supermotos should manage a bit more than that depending on the size of the bike and the weight of your right hand. To sum up then, on-road, off-road Supermoto tires is a bit of a pickle. I mean, the Distanzia is perfect, but nobody's making it. And the Trail Rider is imperfect and expensive. The Hydno K73 is not really an off-road tire at all. And the Shinko 705 is very similar to the Distanzia, minus the Supermoto compound, which is the part that we mainly cared about. So in the end, buy a pair of the old Distanzias if you can find them. If not, then the Shinko 705 is a pretty cheap Band-Aid fix in the meantime. And that's it for my favorite Supermoto tires. Thank you guys very much for watching.